It's not that money corrupted them. They discovered something about human nature that made them rich in the first place. A truth so uncomfortable that society had to bury it under layers of moral teachings about generosity and selflessness. Right now, as you're watching this, someone is using this exact principle to extract value from you. And the most dangerous part? You're thanking them for it. Last week, a friend called me crying. She just discovered her business partner, someone she'd helped for years, given opportunities to, even lent money to, had been secretly building a competing company using her contacts. How could she do this to me? She asked. After everything I've done for her? I stayed silent because I knew something she didn't. Something that would have saved her hundreds of thousands of dollars if she'd known it earlier. The same thing that separates those who accumulate wealth from those who constantly lose it. Right now, millions are asking, why do good people stay broke while ruthless ones get rich? What do wealthy people know about human nature that we don't? Why does being generous actually make you poorer? And in this video, you'll discover the forbidden psychology that governs all financial power. Here's the situation. Every day, you're losing money to people using these principles against you. If you ignore this, you'll spend your life enriching others while wondering why you never get ahead. But stick around and you'll learn the exact mental framework that transforms you from prey to predator in every financial interaction. What I'm about to share comes from a man so dangerous, his name became synonymous with evil manipulation. Yet every Fortune 500 CEO has his book on their shelf, hidden behind other books. But it's there. 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli wrote something that got him exiled. Not because it was wrong, but because it was too right, too real, too dangerous for common people to know. He exposed the mechanics of power. Not how we wish it worked, but how it actually works. In boardrooms, in relationships, in every interaction where money changes hands. You've been taught that money flows to those who work hardest. That's the first lie. Money flows to those who understand power, and power flows to those who understand fear and love. But here's what nobody tells you. In the game of wealth, fear beats love every time. Think about it. Who do you pay first each month? The landlord who could evict you, or the friend who lent you money? Exactly. Machiavelli discovered that humans are predictably selfish. Not sometimes, always. Even when they're being generous. Especially when they're being generous. Men are so simple, he wrote, and so ready to obey present necessities. Translation? People only care about what you can do for them right now, not what you did yesterday. Right now. Your employer doesn't pay you for last month's work. They pay you to show up tomorrow. The moment you can't, you're gone. Your clients don't value your past service. They value your future usefulness. Miss one deadline? Watch how fast loyalty evaporates. This isn't cynical. This is physics, the physics of human behavior. And once you see it, your brain rewires permanently. Every interaction becomes transparent. Every relationship reveals its true foundation. That friend who only calls when they need something? That's not a bug. That's the feature. That's how humans actually work when you strip away the pretty stories. But here's where it gets dangerous. Machiavelli asked a question that changed everything. Is it better to be feared or loved? Society wants you to choose love because love makes you exploitable. Love makes you give discounts. Love makes you work for free. Love makes you say yes when you should say no. But fear? Fear makes you irreplaceable. Not fear of violence, fear of loss, fear of missing out, fear of falling behind. Watch how luxury brands operate. They don't beg for your love. They make you fear not having their product, fear looking poor, fear being excluded. Watch how successful consultants price themselves. They don't discount for friendship. They make clients fear what happens without their expertise. You have permission to protect your value. You have permission to be unavailable. You have permission to say no without explaining yourself. Because here's the twist that changes everything. The more you try to be loved through generosity, the less valuable you become. It's mathematical. Scarcity creates value. Availability destroys it. Remember the last time someone did you a favor. How did you feel? Grateful? For about 5 seconds. Then your brain did something fascinating. It rewrote the story. They must have wanted to help. They probably enjoyed it. It wasn't that big a deal for them. Your brain literally devalues their generosity to protect your ego. This happens to everyone, all the time, which means every favor you do gets forgotten, but every boundary you set gets remembered. Let me show you two people. Same talent, same industry, completely different results. Alana answers every call, helps everyone, discounts her services for friends, works weekends to meet impossible deadlines. She's exhausted, broke, and bitter. Why don't people appreciate me? She wonders. Meanwhile, Marcus is difficult. He doesn't answer calls after 6 p.m., never discounts, says no to most requests, has a 3-month waiting list. Guess who makes 10 times more? But here's the part that will really mess with your head. People respect Marcus more. They value his time more. They brag about working with him, while they take Elena for granted, use her, drain her, then forget she exists. This isn't about being cruel. It's about understanding a fundamental law. Humans value what costs them something. They discard what comes free. If you've ever felt drained by giving too much, you're already living this truth. Your exhaustion isn't from working hard. It's from working scared. Scared that if you stop giving, people will stop caring. But that fear is backwards. People stopped caring because you never stopped giving. Think about your most valuable relationships, the people you respect most. Are they the ones always available, always saying yes, always accommodating? Or are they the ones with boundaries, standards, the ones whose time feels precious because it is? If this is exposing truths you felt but couldn't name, that like button is your first act of rebellion against the lies. Most people will never understand this. They'll keep bleeding themselves dry, wondering why nobody values their sacrifice. But you're different, because you're about to learn something that changes everything. Here's what Machiavelli knew that modern society desperately tries to hide. Love is temporary. Fear is forever. When you do someone a favor, they feel gratitude for about 48 hours. Then their brain reframes it. I deserve that. They owed me. It was nothing special. But when you deny someone something they want, that stays with them. They remember. They wonder what they need to do differently. They value the next opportunity more. If these patterns are exploding in your mind right now, if you're seeing them everywhere suddenly, you belong here. Hit subscribe. Not because I need you to, but because you need what's coming next. This is why wealthy people seem cold. They're not broken. They're playing by the real rules. The ones nobody wants to admit exist. Watch how they operate. They make you compete for their attention. Not because they're arrogant, because competition creates value. They don't explain their decisions. Not because they're rude, because mystery creates respect. They charge premium prices. Not because they're greedy, because price signals worth. You've been taught this is wrong, selfish, immoral. But let me ask you something. Who taught you that? Was it someone wealthy? Or was it someone who needed you to stay generous so they could benefit from your sacrifice? The doctrine of selflessness wasn't created by successful people. It was created to keep you exploitable, to make you feel guilty for protecting your value, to ensure you never discover what I'm about to tell you. Every time you undercharge, you train people to undervalue you. Every time you over-deliver, you train people to expect more for less. Every time you sacrifice your needs for others, you train people that your needs don't matter. You're not just losing money, you're programming others to exploit you. But here's the revolution. You can reprogram them. Starting now, the moment you stop being constantly available, your value increases. The moment you stop explaining your boundaries, people stop testing them. The moment you stop apologizing for your standards, people start respecting them. This isn't theory, this is law. The same law that governs every power dynamic since humans began trading. If you've ever felt guilty for protecting your interests, that guilt isn't yours. It was programmed into you by people who profit from your sacrifice. You have the right to charge what you're worth without feeling guilty. You have the right to say no without justifying yourself. You have the right to protect your time like the irreplaceable resource it is. Because here's what changes everything. The shame you feel about self-protection, that's not conscience. That's conditioning. Conditioning that benefits everyone except you. Think about the last time you felt guilty for setting a boundary. Who benefited from that guilt? You or the person trying to cross that boundary? Your guilt is their profit. But when you finally understand this, really understand it, something shifts. You stop feeling guilty for protecting your value. You start feeling powerful. You stop explaining your prices. You start stating them. You stop apologizing for being unavailable. You start protecting your time. You stop seeking approval. You start commanding respect. And here's the paradox that breaks most people's brains. The less you need people's love, the more they give it. But it's different now. It's not the desperate love of dependence. It's the genuine respect of equals. Because you're finally playing by the real rules. The ones successful people never talk about but always follow. Remember my friend with the betraying business partner? I finally told her the truth. That partner didn't suddenly become ruthless. She was always playing by different rules. My friend was playing checkers in a chess game, wondering why she kept losing. But I was so good to her, she said. Exactly, I replied. That's why she could afford to betray you. You made yourself too safe to fear losing. The silence that followed? That was the sound of awakening. Most people will never see this. They'll spend their lives being good and wondering why it doesn't pay off. But you're done with that fairy tale. You're ready for reality. And reality rewards those who understand power, not those who pretend it doesn't exist. So here's your choice. And it really is a choice. You can close this video and go back to the comfortable lie. Keep being generous. Keep being available. Keep being exploited. Keep wondering why good things happen to bad people. Or you can accept the dangerous truth. The game was never fair. It was never about merit. It was always about power. And power flows to those who understand fear and love not as opposites, but as tools. Tools that build empires or destroy them. Tools that create wealth or squander it. Tools that are in your hands right now. Tomorrow, someone will ask you for a discount, for a favor, for your time. And in that moment, you'll either apply what you just learned or you'll fall back into old patterns. But I already know what you're going to do because you wouldn't have watched this entire video if you weren't ready to stop being prey. You're choosing power. You're choosing reality. You're choosing to finally play by the rules that actually govern success. If you're ready to stop apologizing for your ambition, if you're done sacrificing yourself for people who'd forget you tomorrow, if you're choosing freedom over false morality, then you belong here. Subscribe. Not because I asked, but because you finally understand that knowledge like this is how empires are built. Drop a comment with the exact moment you realize you've been playing by the wrong rules. I read everything, and I see you. The revolution doesn't start with overthrowing the system. It starts with understanding it. And now you understand. Welcome to reality. It's more dangerous here, but it's also where all the money is.